It's me, your beloved. This is not my room. I'm in a friend's house in LA with a really crappy camera, so you're gonna see a lot of fluctuations. I'm gonna leave that AC unit on, because otherwise I'll sweat like a hot pork link in a 24-hour IHOP. I got a story for you. At this time, I was in middle school. I was at a sleepover at a friend's house. You might know him. Oh man, his name is Wesley! Wesley! Yes, that Wesley! The Wesley with a freaking dexterity of a pack of wet crowns! Can I tell you something about Wesley? Wesley was loaded! He was rich! He was the Bruce Wayne of our school! While growing up, I always thought wealth was just how much name brand soda you had. I thought, like, if you just had all the name brand soda, you were wealthy. They had Mountain Dew! Not carbonated citrus drink. Mountain Dew! Crush! Coca-Cola! Sprite! He had the less pretentious Dr. Pepper. Mr. Pibb! You couldn't even get Mr. Pibb in Tennessee. You couldn't get it. This family somehow got Pibb. I love Pibb. Pibb is like the unicorn of my heart. This was a land where kids dreamt of a high fructose fantasy. Light touched everything. Except for me and Wesley's friendship. That crap was in the shadows. Because he did this thing. He did this thing where he would steal things. Guy was a kleptomaniac, okay? He would steal things just to steal things. And you're probably thinking, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a pencil, we're talking about a low eraser, what are we talking about? Oh man, the last time I saw that Wesley, I was on TV. He was the getaway driver in a bank robbery. What the freak? I mean, I've witnessed him steal things, like he would steal school lunches, and one time he stole a stack of Matchbox 20 CDs, but I think the reason why he kept me around was because I was no snitch. But to be honest, I would have ratted that guy out if I had more friends. I mean, he was all I had. He might have not been perfect, but that dirty thieving Wesley was all I had. So one night I'm crashing at Wesley's and I awake. Huh? I woke up so thirsty. Not that kind of thirsty. I needed liquids. I woke up. I knew me and Wesley's friendship was on the way out. So I was like, forget the H2O. Let's just go for the Pibb. I unzip my sleeping bag real slow. I'm standing in the middle of Wesley's room in my PJs. And I wonder why I didn't have friends. I was more PJs than bed. I start tiptoeing out of Wesley's room, right? So I'm in the kitchen, and I pop open the fridge, right? Which, by the way, looked like a cabinet. These guys were so rich, they turned the fridge into a cabinet! Upon opening, just a chilled, frosty air blanket hits my face. I see a wall of maroon cylinders. Pibb. I reach in and I grab one of the Pibbs, and it's sweating. It's just glistening. I pop the tab. Fizz sparkles hit my face. I'm getting ready to take a sip out of the Pibb when I hear somebody get up. Wesley's out of bed. I'm thinking, oh yes! I'm gonna scare the living crap out of him. So I start looking around and I see in like their kitchen by the garage door they have like a wall of 7 trash bags. Just in a wall. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna ET him. If you've seen the featured motion picture E.T., there's a scene where the mother, and she goes into the closet to look, and E.T.'s in there. He hides among the stuffed animals, right? And passes the mother's surveying eyes undetected. And the twist, of course, is you make a small noise, so to draw their curiosity. And then when they get really close, you go, hey! So I was going to ET him with the garbage bags being my stuffed animals. So I put the Pibb down on the counter, and I quickly go around to the trash bags, right? And I shove my face into the trash bags, and I'm like, oh yes, this is exciting. And I start hearing the ankle pops down the stairs. I'm like, oh yeah, he's getting close. And then the light turns on, and it's Wesley's mom. So I put myself in a little bit of a situation where there's no great way to explain why Why my face is shoved in a bunch of crinkling, noise-making cat scarers. How do I explain this? There was only really two ways out of this. One, I whip out my dad's invisibility cloak that he never gave me. Or two, I slow my heartbeat down slow to result in an almost dead-like state. Now, in my haste of trying to E.T. my friend Wesley, I didn't really get to check what was in the bags, because I would be pretty much surprised if it was not the remains of a dirt devil full of old dusty feathers shot through a pepper mine owned by Mrs. Dash. A sneeze was percolating. I'm freaking trying to hold in a sneeze. But noises were being made by the hold. Wesley's mom starts looking around like, what is that? No. I guess at this point, she looked over in the shadowy part of the kitchen and probably saw what appeared to be an outline of a human face. So she steps forward in my direction and says, hello? Nothing to see. Nothing to see here. She steps again, like closer, and starts like, hello? And then it happened. I sneeze. And it sounds like a freaking mouse playing a wooden saxophone through a keyhole. Surprisingly, she takes it really well, and she's like, ah! I hop up and I'm like, freaking, it's me! It's me! She's just like, you, what are you doing amongst the trash? I had nothing. No good response. I had no response. So I just blurted out any whole thing, and I bring this, Wesley steals things. I don't know. She's like, excuse, Wesley's been stealing things? She gives me one of these and just walks the freak out. It's obvious that she's going to get Wesley. So I just stay in the kitchen. I'm like, oh no, what the freak did I do? And I just like, I happen to see the pib. I go over and I grab the pib, right? And I step back. And I'm standing there, right? And I get ready to take a sip. And right as I get ready to take a sip, Wesley's mom and Wesley into the kitchen. Now, it just looks like I'm having fun. I got a pib in my hand. Wesley's mom is like, explain what your friend just said. Wesley's like, what? What, Mom? What? Your friend has said you've been stealing. Wesley looks at me and he's like, dude. I'm over in the corner. I'm just like, dude. And then something really insane happens. Wesley just goes, it's true. I love stealing. I'm like, no way, dude. I'm like, dude. I thought he was gonna lie a couple times, butter him up. But no, this man shoved his hand right into the turkey. Wesley's mom is just destroyed by this dude. It's just, oh, my son. So she calls Wesley's dad out, to come downstairs. It's like, Kevin. He comes downstairs, walks in. He's like a silverback, right? He's like, what? So now in the kitchen is Wesley's mom, Wesley's dad, Kevin, and then there's me, okay, in the corner with a pib in his hand. So Wesley's mom tells Wesley's dad, your son has been stealing, and his friend told me. And he looks at me, right, like, hey. And Wesley's dad looks back at Wesley and he's like, is it true? I'm like, Wesley, don't say it! Don't say it, Wesley! Don't say it! And he's like, yeah, son of a Wesley! And he just goes, we've been over this. We told you to stop stealing. You're going to military school. He ends the argument with, everybody back to bed. Pancakes in the morning. I'm like, pancakes in the morning? I'm leaving. I'm calling my father and I'm leaving. I'm not staying for that breakfast. I'm not staying for that breakfast. I gotta go. I call my dad. I'm like, go pick me up. I say bye to Wesley. Wesley says bye to me. I walk out of the house into my dad's car. And he's like, how'd it go? And I raise up my pib. I take a sip. I'm like, just drive. Just, let's get out of here.